Will begin shortly. Your live interactive Weather Authority coverage will begin shortly.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. And before I jump in, I want to apologize because we do have roof construction going on and it is kind of loud. So hopefully you're able to hear me and hopefully the noises aren't too distracting. But if there's some strange noises in the background, that is what is going on here. But of course, everyone probably joining to talk about the snow that we've got on the way later this week. It looks like our first real big storm of the season. Of course, we've had some light snow events and some moderate snow events already, but this one is looking like it has the potential to be a bigger storm for us here. So we'll get to that in just a second. But first, we got a couple days of weather to get through. And tomorrow is also looking like an interesting day, not because of massive snow totals or anything, but because it will be very windy. And there is the chance of some light snow tomorrow. So we'll get to that in just a second here. But for today, a great day to get outside, a great day to secure those Christmas decorations, any outdoor furniture that for some reason you may still have out there. Temperatures on the cool side for today, but beautifully sunny, 35 for the high in Portland, right around the freezing mark, Lewiston and Augusta, and in the 20s in the mountains. And now that more of you are in here, I'd love to hear where you're watching from. And if you've got any questions as we go along through the forecast, you can drop them in the comments and I will be happy to answer them. So, of course, all eyes on the late week storm, but we do have a little sneaky potential snow tomorrow on Wednesday. So we're going to see a storm system off to our east that will get very close to Maine. It's going to bring a couple inches of snow to places like Bangor and eastward from there, Rockland eastward from there. For the rest of us in central and southern Maine, it does look like we will see at least the potential for a brief coating of snow and the potential for some snow showers as we head towards the afternoon. So let's track that out here. You can see, there we go. There's some of those snow showers developing. So tomorrow evening, Wednesday evening, don't be surprised if you see a quick burst of snow here in the Portland area, up near Lewiston, Augusta, Freiburg, very much in play for a quick burst of snow tomorrow. Could reduce visibility, could make the roads a little bit slick out there as we head into tomorrow evening. So just be aware of that tomorrow. I think the bigger story tomorrow, though, is the very strong winds that we will see. It's going to be very windy out there on our Wednesday. We'll see gusts approaching 40 miles per hour in some spots. But, of course, Friday and Saturday, that is when our big storm is heading our way. So let's get into that. Snow will begin on Friday morning. It should start as snow for pretty much all of us here. A change over to rain looking likely at the coastline. And then as we head into Saturday, that snow and rain mix will continue. Big totals possible inland, double-digit totals not out of the question. Mountain areas could see a foot plus with this storm. Ski resorts going to love this. In fact, Sunday this weekend or even Saturday, both days this weekend looking absolutely great powder days for skiing. So if you're a big ski fan, this weekend is looking great for you. That pre-Christmas snow, always nice to get that. So let's jump into the details of this storm. Winds will also be a big factor with this. Tomorrow it's going to be windy. That's not with the nor'easter, but it will be windy out there on our Wednesday. We'll see winds gusting up to 35 to 40 miles per hour tomorrow. And we also have that potential for some snow showers as well. Then we've got the wind from the nor'easter as we head into Friday evening. Winds will ramp up. We'll see gusts up to 45, even 50 miles per hour. And if you're wondering, are power outages possible? Well, they are along the coastline. I would say some scattered outages are possible. Mark has a great question. Any guess on what time Friday morning things will begin? I wouldn't give an exact hour right about now, but I would say more late morning. So mid to late morning, I'd say 9, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. or so on Friday morning. So you should be okay. And honestly, it should start off pretty slowly here. I don't think we'll start off with a huge burst of heavy snow, but it will progressively pick up as we head towards the afternoon. About time to get some snow. It's December after all. Couldn't agree with you more. I'm very excited for this storm. And how far north will the snow go? Will it make it up to around Caribou? It does look like it will make it into northern Maine. In fact, pretty much the whole state should see snow with this system. So I will bring up our potential snow maps here in just a second. So the winds, of course, a big factor with this. It looks like the worst winds will be Friday night into early Saturday. So ramping up Friday evening, worst winds overnight Friday night, dying down as we head into Saturday afternoon. Now, let's track this out for you. You can see that coastal storm, powerful storm, lifting northwards into Maine. The entire state will see some sort of precipitation from this. As of right now, the track looks to be right along the Maine coast. That would mean warm air could get pulled inland or get pulled onshore from the ocean, which would change things over to rain in coastal Maine. Now, if that storm just goes 50 miles more offshore, even 25 miles more offshore, that would keep the colder air in place. And we could be talking big totals here along the coast. So it's still iffy at the coast. I think it's a good bet inland and towards the mountains right now. Almost a guarantee, I would say, that we see a big storm inland and mountains. Coastal areas, not as much of a guarantee. It's just more of a possibility. I'd say a coin flip at this point. So beginning Friday morning, ramping up into Friday evening, worst conditions overnight Friday night into early Saturday, dying down as we head into Saturday afternoon. Sunday looking a good bit calmer with breezy winds and a few lingering snow showers. So 2 scenarios here. I just mentioned them. One scenario where the storm tracks right along the coast. That would mean we would probably mix over to rain and be mainly rain at the coast, and our totals would be greatly reduced here in coastal Maine. Now, I do want to point out, notice how close those big totals are towards the coastline. A very small shift could bring those big totals close to the coast and cause more impacts here in coastal Maine. So that's going to be something to watch. Notice the mountains, though, those pinks and those blues showing up. That is nearly double-digit totals, if not a foot or more in the high elevation. So mountain areas, almost a guarantee you'll see a big snow event. For the coastal parts of Maine, less likely that we see a big snow event, but the possibility is still there. So that's scenario number 1. If the track tracks along the coast, I'd say this is the more likely scenario of the 2 scenarios that we have. All right, scenario number 2, coastal snow lovers are going to like this one. Scenario number 2 would be a further offshore track, higher totals at the coastline with that track, and that would bring the plowable snow all the way into coastal Maine. That would mean we could be talking 6 inches or more even here in the Portland area if scenario 2 ends up happening. So scenario 1, less snow at the coast. Scenario 2, a whole lot more snow at the coastline. All right, South Paris area, what time would it start? I would say a little later, probably early afternoon on Friday in South Paris, Stacy. So I would say the morning, probably not going to be all that bad on Friday in South Paris. Hope I don't need my snowblower up around Caribou. I'd say in Caribou, you're going to need the snowblower, almost a guarantee, Richard. Northern Maine, I think that's going to be very hard for them to miss this storm. I think Northern Maine ends up with potentially 10 inches or more in Caribou. Here in Caribou Valley, we need this snow so bad. Yeah, it's been kind of a lackluster season so far. The ski resort's going to love this. Where does the Lakes region fall into that accumulation? Casco, Raymond. I was discussing this with Charlie yesterday. I would put Raymond, Casco Bay in the greater than 6 inches or more range as of right now. That could easily shift. I don't want to give you a guarantee, Vicky, but that is certainly a possibility. OOB, as of right now, looking like it'll be a quick changeover from snow to rain, Susan, but overall, there is the potential, like in scenario 2 here, where we do see more snow in OOB. Not going to give you guys any exact totals, any inches or anything like that. Tomorrow morning, I promise I will have a snow map for you guys, but just a little too early in the game as of right now to give exact totals here. Okay, Limerick, Standish. Standish is further inland. I'd say you have a better bet of seeing some higher totals. Chris, same story. Scott and Limerick, probably a better chance there. So hope you're wrong, LOL. Richard, I hope I am too, just for your sake. Hopefully the shoveling is kept to a minimum for you up in Caribou. So let me jump into our 7-day forecast here. I'll go back to those 2 scenarios coming up here in just a second or so. But here's a look at our 7-day. You can see temperature is going to be pretty marginal. So of wet snow is what it's looking like at the very least. Snow to rain Friday. Rain probably turning back to snow at some point on Saturday. If we do change over to rain, there is the potential that we stay all snow at the coast. That would give totals a huge boost. Inland areas, very likely to stay all snow. So if you live away from the coastline, I'd say it's a pretty good bet you're going to see a plowable storm later on this week. Snow and wind begins on Friday, continuing through much of Saturday as well. So I'm going to walk through those 2 scenarios one last time here. We've got scenario number 1. I'd say this is the most likely scenario where the storm will track very close to the coast and potentially bring rain on shore, keeping totals at the coast very limited. Inland areas, a plowable snow, a guarantee, almost a guarantee, I would say. Mountain areas, a very good storm for you. Snowtown, baby, here in Carrabassett. Yeah, let's get you guys some snow. I think you guys need a good foot, maybe 18 inches or so. I'm hoping for your guys' sake up in Carrabassett that you get a good snow event. Sabattis, Lewiston. I'd say the chances in Lewiston will probably end up on the line. If we do see a lot of mixing, Lewiston ends up on the line. I'd say 6 inches or less for Lewiston, Sabattis area. Michelle and Jocelyn both asking about the Lewiston area. So scenario one means less snow at the coastline. It's probably the more likely of the two scenarios. Scenario two brings those bigger totals towards the coastline as the storm tracks further offshore, letting that cold air stay in place, and it doesn't bring the mild air in. Notice how in both scenarios, the mountains and inland towns still getting a big storm either way. So I'd say it's almost a lock at this point. From Lewiston to Augusta, further inland, you will get a fairly big snowstorm here later on this week, Friday into Saturday. So hope everyone has a great rest of your day today. If you've got any questions, I'd be happy to hear them on social media. You can drop them in this live. I'll try to go back in and answer them later on. But have a great rest of your Tuesday. It's a beautiful day. Get out and enjoy it because tomorrow's going to be very windy. And then, of course, we've got the storm later on this week. So enjoy the calm weather here for the next couple days before we get that big storm later this week. Everyone's going to forget to drive. Chris McVeigh says, yeah, that first storm, it always tends to catch people off guard when it comes to winter driving. So everyone brush up on your winter driving skills here over the next couple of days. Like I said, I will hopefully have a snow map for you guys tomorrow morning. We'll have updates for you all through the rest of today and the rest of this week. So have a great rest of your day, everyone. We'll keep you updated all week long here.